Oh, my dad bought a Steam Deck. He's never gamed or owned a game system in his life. When he came to Japan in October, he saw my Steam Deck. I showed him it, and I kind of tried to get him into Balatro, and because I was like, man, my dad wanted to play games, and he always asks me that he wants to game. I don't know if you guys have experienced this. It's really hard to get someone into gaming who isn't like actively trying to get into it themselves. Like when they express interest, it's very hard to like kind of find a game that works for them, because you just don't know what game will like click for someone. 95% of games that exist, you cannot show to a non-gamer, because a lot of games require or just expect you to understand things that all gamers understand, like the joysticks. Like that's like very incompatible for a lot of people when they start out. So anything that like requires you to move a camera and a person at the same time is like a no-go. It like just doesn't work for a lot of new people unless they're like really into the idea or something, right? So I was like, man, what game can I get my dad into? So he liked Balatro. It's kind of easy to understand, but still I feel like he wasn't like clicking with him. And it's crazy because like how I look at video games and how like other people who are older who have tried to get into video games, they'll ask me questions and they'll play the game so badly, but they won't read anything. I feel like that's crazy coming from me because I don't read shit, but I will like read what the card does and be like, huh, I guess maybe I could use it like this. Whereas my dad would just look at me and be like, what should I do? And I'd be like read the card. You know, I'm like, I couldn't understand why there was no like desire to try and like get better at the game. There was a desire to play the game, but not a desire to like get better at it, which I found odd. But then I think this is quite normal. You don't read. I will read, but I'll clock it if I care about it really quickly. I'll be like, no. So that game, I think he liked it, wasn't selling him on it, but he wanted the Steam Deck. He tried to set it up himself, and it didn't work. So when I went over there, I had to go and set it up for him. And I got him on my Steam account. So he has all of, like the Steam family account. So he has all of my Steam games, which is actually very unhelpful because I have a lot of Steam games that you would not want to play. And so he's like looking at this game. He's like, oh, this one looks fun. And it's like an AI slop game that I installed because a company sent it to me. And I'm like, don't play that game. And they'd be like, all right, what about this one? And I'll be like, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. I was like, that will not run on this. And then I'm like, no, this is awful. Like, this is a terrible system to recommend for someone who doesn't like, you know, because he expects like the PS5 experience where if the game is there, it works. And then he'll be like, what about this one? I'll be like, nah, that won't work very well on this device. The control system is terrible. And then also I had to set up the Xbox controllers for it, which was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. So when I connected my Xbox controller, the one I have down there, and then, sorry, I used the PS5 ones on my Steam Deck on my living room, but the Xbox ones he had didn't work because they were right out of the box, and I didn't realize you had to update the firmware on the controllers before they worked. So there's a lot of hoops to jump through. We got it set up. So it finally worked, and he liked it. And then I finally found him a game that he really liked and that he enjoys quite a lot. Can you guess what game it was? It was the one game that I felt like worked. It's a game that I think we all agree is good. So that's the clue. I'll see if anyone gets it. Oh, someone said it. There you go. I Am Friends. Yeah, Vampire Survivors. He really likes Vampire Survivors, which is great because I was like, this is a great game to get into as an introductory game. So he's been playing it a lot, and he's getting better. He is getting better. Initially, he would just kind of run around and he would only try and live. He wouldn't try to like level up. And I kept telling him, you gotta kill things. You can't. I was like, your level per minutes is so low. I was like, you gotta keep leveling. If you don't keep leveling, Dad, you will not be able to kill things. And he's like, all right, okay. And he's learning. So he's getting better. He said he made it to 20 minutes on the first map, which I think is pretty good. Because I think Vampire Survivors is a game where like you can maybe beat the library pretty consistently, but getting over that hill of beating the first 3 maps consistently is like quite hard, I feel like. And then it gets a lot easier once you start to really understand the mechanics of the game. But the initial hump of getting over that hill of getting far on the first map is pretty difficult, I think. And I kept trying to explain to him how the evolutions worked. But it's kind of like hard to keep track of all these things. And then I'd be like, don't worry, Dad, I unlocked the extra revive for you. Go into the power up, spend your money, do this stuff. But yeah, and he asked me like 3 times, bless him. He was like, hey, can you get League of Legends on this? I was like, Dad, don't ask me that. Don't ever think about that. He's like, but it looked really fun with you and Ludwig. I was like, what? So he wanted to get into League. I was like, don't get into League. Don't do that. I was like, you will not have fun. He's like, why? I want to try it. And I was like, Dad, you will not be able to play this game. Ludwig, who I said to him, I was like, Ludwig is a gamer. He's a great gamer. I sound like Trump. He's a great gamer. He's one of the best out there. he's a good gamer. He's put hundreds of hours into this game, and he is struggling. Like, don't do this. Don't think about this. Disown after you feed his lane.